Hi there, I have a thought for the day, and this thought comes from The Short Path to Enlightenment, and this is by Paul Brunton, Instructions for Immediate Awakening. Okay, and I'm reading from page 50. So he starts out, why is it that so many people are so unaware of their own higher existence? The answer is that their faculty of awareness itself is that spiritual existence. Whatever they know, people know through the consciousness within them. That in them which knows anything is their divine element. The power of knowing, whether it be a thought that is known, a complex of thoughts such as memories, a thing such as a landscape, is a divine power, for it derives from the higher self which they possess. To know anything is to use that divine power, in other words. He goes on, he says, it's a quest to become conscious of consciousness, to explore the I and penetrate the mystery of its knowing power. If we want certain knowledge, not just vague hope, that the answer to this question, who am I, is I am of God-like essence. If we want to know that, we want to answer that question with certainty, and we want that answer to be, I'm God-like essence, then we have to follow the quest for the self into its disciplines and practices. The mysterious question, who am I, is certainly deeply important, which is why it was put forward from the very beginning of his career by Ramana Maharshi. There's also another question which one might venture to state, where am I? Am I here in the flesh, a body, or am I in the invisible mind? Everything remembered is a thought in consciousness. This not only applies to objects, events, and places, it also applies to persons, including oneself. You remember yourself, the I that you were, the you that you were. This means that your own personality, what you call yourself, was a thought in the past, however strong and however persistent. But the past was once the present. Therefore, you are not less a thought now. The question arises, what did you have then that you still have now, unchanged, exactly the same? It's not you, the person, because that is different in some way each time. It is and can only be you, the consciousness. The knowledge that no two human beings are alike refers to bodies and minds, but it leaves out the part of their nature which is spiritual, which is found and experienced in deep meditation. In that meditation, the deepest part of their conscious being, the personal self vanishes. Only consciousness in itself, thought-free, world-free, remains. This is the source of that feeling that you exist. And it's exactly alike in the experience of all other human beings. That's the part of you which never dies, where God and man may mingle. They become one. You're already God in self. The core of you is God's stuff. The presence is always there, always waiting to be recognized and felt. But inner silence is needed to make this possible, and few persons seek it anymore. That we know this awareness exists means only that we have an idea of awareness. We do not see that awareness as itself an object, nor can we ever do so. If we are to know the awareness by itself, first we would have to drop knowing all of its objects its reflections in thought, including the ego thought, and then be it, not see it. If we search into the innermost part of ourself, we come in the end to an inner void where nothing from the outside world can reflect itself. We come to a divine stillness where no image and no form is active. This is the essence of our being. This is the true spirit. In the void, the real is hidden. All time is rolled up there. The entire world and the space holding it dissolves there. Everything and everyone vanishes there. That alone is the ever real, ever being. That is what man must learn to consider as his own hidden being, your core self. And it's a task that involves re-identification. In that silent center, there's immense power and rock-like strength. And that is true. The overself, the whole self, perceives and knows the individual self, but only as an imperturbable witness, in the same way that the sun witnesses the various objects upon the earth, but does not enter into a particular relation with any one particular object. So too, the overself, the whole self, is present in each individual as the witness and as the unchanging consciousness which gives consciousness to the individual. There is only a single light of consciousness in the mind's camera. And when man shall discover the hidden power within himself, which enables him to be conscious and to think, he will discover the Holy Spirit, the ray of infinite mind lighting his little finite mind. Consciousness appearing as the person seeks itself. That's what it is, and that's the quest. But when it learns and comprehends that it is itself, the object of the quest, the person stops not only seeking outside himself, but even engaging in the quest itself. Henceforth, he lets himself be moved by the over-self's flow. Too often, beginners regard lofty emotions or extraordinary powers or ecstatic rapture as the measure of attainment, but the only genuine measure is awareness. This is the spiritual climax of one's life. This dramatic moment when consciousness comes to recognize and understand itself in you. So as you go through your day, think about the whole self. We mentioned that before. Think about that place that is, we'll say, the core. It's the void within. It's the place. It's the home of the Godhead. It's the home of the God that you are. It is what creates you and brings you into existence. Your consciousness is an individual form of God. You are an image of God. So keep that in mind as you go through the day, and be a little sassy, but not too sassy. Okay? Take care. Have a great day.